All right, what's going on, y'all? Spirit, light, body, man. Wholeness. All right, just want to give a little honor to the ancestors. Hit myself with a little bit of this sage smoke before I get started on this thing, right? All right, so wholeness to everybody, man. You know who it is. Spirit, light, body. Y'all know what it is, man. Andre Hill. So here it is, man. Constant expansion to new horizons, right? And we understand now that the quest is to master the mind, which leads to mastering the self, which leads to mastering your breath. And then you learn to find a balance between the elements, right? Stuff we've been talking about, right? And then we know that the height of this occult knowledge is the knowledge itself. So we knowing this. And then now we done absorb the ancient text. And after years of application, we begin to see the wisdom. Even we find it even when we look at other things that we looked at before, you see it in a new light. You have a new level of awareness when you assess it. So you're constantly expanding. And wholeness to my brother Dan Winter. I know y'all done heard me talk about him, and I post up some of his stuff and stuff here and there. But I know y'all been hearing me say for years now, oh, the out of body. Even y'all, like, you remember like the whole Star Angel thing, and I was telling y'all about the orbs and stuff or whatever. Well, boom, that's living plasma. You see what I'm saying? And I mean, like, there's a lot to behind that. You see what I'm saying? And I don't have the time to necessarily go through it all, but I'm just trying to get you aware that, like, hey, like, yo, I'm cracking into a lot of different stuff just by checking out this man's work right here. I mean, like I've been telling you about Seven Bowman. It's a lot of wonderful teachers out here, so there's no reason for us not to be constantly expanding. But anyway, so y'all heard me talk about the out of body experience, the astral plane, heaven, you know what I'm saying, Loka, Shambhala, there's so many different names for it, right? But then we actually find that, well, dang, Dan Winter done come up with the physics with this. So it's like, to me, it's so beautiful because it collapses the whole religious war thing. It's like, oh, Allah, Allahu Akbar, oh, Christ, you know what I'm saying? They're going to war fighting. It's like, man, well, okay, y'all, let's just get to what the mind of God would be, right? You see what I'm saying? So I got notes right here, y'all. So, all right. So then when we get into the physics of this, right? It's like, okay, so I know y'all heard me say before, like, yo, like, if you're thinking, you're not meditating, and you're definitely not getting to the expanded levels of awareness, right? So in order to do that, you have to get your mind clear, or what we would say, get your mind still, right? So remember I told you about the standing transverse wave, right? And that moves like this. It's a short wave, right? The heat containing short wave. So from your consciousness, that generally is a short wave, right? And then, of course, you got aspects of each inside of each one, but from the consciousness, it's generally standing transverse wave, short wave, right? Okay. So then we understand that there's a longitudinal wave. Now that wave is a compressional wave. Sometimes Dan Winter says that sometimes they call it scalar, and then it's also referred to as torsional. He always says incorrectly, but nonetheless, like when we talk about the torsional, that's what it is, the longitudinal waves, right? So that's a compressional wave. That's the long wave. So in order for you to get on the long wave or into the heavenly states, the universal mind, the mind of God, the collective co-consciousness, whatever you want to call it, has many different names, right? But see, like Dan Winter says, but let's jump into the physics of it, because then it collapses all the fighting over the names. And look, dude, this is just what it is for everybody. We understand, truly, we understand how this truly operates now. And I'm just saying it's another level of the knowledge. And I think that, like, we got to start setting a bar for teaching and then building upon this. There's things here that you just spent this whole life on this work. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been telling y'all, like I've been delving into the spiritual stuff my whole life. But then, dang, I found a man that, man, when I was in the womb still, he was laying this stuff out. But I understand what he's saying. Like when he talks about how the entire cosmos is made of one substance, a universal substance. You see what I'm saying? That is what we've been calling the ether. But like he says, he calls it charge, the compression and rarefaction of the ether, which basically boils down to like high pressure, positive voltage, low pressure, low voltage. You know what I'm saying? So it's the flux. It's the electromagnetic flux in the ether. You see what I'm saying? It's the same, like on one aspect, it's electric, but then on the other aspect, it's magnetic, the longitudinal, right? So, you know, I mean, I may not have all this stuff completely mastered. Like I said, he's been doing this whole life, so he could explain it way better. But I'm just trying to give it to you where you can understand what I'm saying. Like, yeah, you meditate and you calm your mind, and then you begin to start to see, yeah, the ancestral memory, longitudinal coherence. That's the physics of what it means to have a soul, the electrical definition, right? And so, yeah, and also, oh yeah, that was another thing on the notes. That also the longitudinal array of the Earth, which is the Earth grid. So that's what you tapping into, and you ride that long way. You in the Earth grid. You see what I'm saying? And that's what I was saying years ago when I was saying, y'all, I was seeing the Earth in the same exact place I was living in, but it was different. So I know that there's a different uh level of the frequency. You see what I'm saying? I know that there's a different level or something beyond this, and I was saying that, but see, now we got the physics stuff, so it's like, yo, it's funny how that works. And yeah, man, I think that was pretty much it. Yeah, you know, yeah. So I just got some things that I'm getting ready to put together and stuff, man. I don't even really want to speak on it, man. You know, diametric opposition, like, nah, I ain't even gonna get into it. But we got some stuff we're working on. But I just want to say, wholeness to Seven Bomar, man. Dan Winter, I'm like One World, One Hood, Bro Destin, Tossy, Sean. I mean, all the tribe, man. Real rap, yo, sister so Ama, excuse me. Mind's Eye, 221 Boss, Empty Mic. Higher or for higher Zents, Luxet Veritas 777, and my brother Curtis Haru, man, and so many more, yo. I mean, way many more people, yo, like real rap, like Dan Calloway, Curry Mayo, Red Squid X, like yo, like, and so many folks. I couldn't begin and then y'all Bro Rich, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's so deep, you know what I'm saying? My brother New Life Tools, like, yo, like real rap, like yo. It's a lot of good stuff out there, so it ain't no reason for us to be stuck in a stagnant, old ass mind state you've been in for the last 20 years, son. You need to be expanding and doing something with yourself, you know. And I'm working on constantly better in my situation, regardless of how that be. Wholeness.